Hi, everybody. So today we're going to talk about the last section of chapter 8, which is 8.4 areas of composite figures. So make sure you have your math composition notebook out and that you are writing down everything that's on my screen so that you have neat, organized notes in that composition book of yours. So first, the learning target is I will be able to find the area of composite figures. All right. So make sure you have that written down and let's get into it. So right here's a brief explanation of what we're going to be doing. To find the area of a composite figure, you're going to separate the figures, separate it into figures with areas that you know how to find. So say a square, a semicircle, a triangle. Then you're just going to add up those areas and that's going to be your figure. So it's similar to the perimeter, except we're just doing it with area now. Okay, so let's talk about if you're given a grid. So find the area of the yellow figure. So if we're given a grid, I'm still going to break it into pieces just so it's a little bit easier. So I'm going to break this into a rectangle to start, okay? And I'm going to find the area of this rectangle. So to do that, I'm going to count the width. So 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 4. And then the length is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So remember, area of a rectangle is just length times width, 4 times 8, which that's going to give me 32 units. Okay. And now up here, I can count, let's see. I'm just going to count all of the actual full squares. So I got 1. I'm not going to count quite yet. So I'm not going to count the halves. So this will give me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So that is 13 units right there. So far for my area, I got 32, which is that big rectangle, plus 13, which is all the full squares up top. And then now we need to count these halvesies, okay? So 1/2 plus 1/2, that's going to give me 1, okay? So plus 1 plus, this is 1/2 plus 1/2 plus 1/2. So 1/2 plus 1/2 plus 1/2. Well, this is going to give me 1 plus 1/2 is just going to give me 1.5. Okay? So I'm going to add those all together now. So notice, I literally am just adding all of those boxes together. If you wanted to just go through and count all of those squares, you could. Okay? I just broke it into the rectangle, so it was a little bit simpler. So now I'm going to go 32 plus 13 plus 1 plus 1.5. And that's going to give me 47.5. And since it's just a grid, I'm going to put units squared like that. Remember, with area, you always square your units, okay? So that's how you find it on grid paper. Let's scroll down now. And just a reminder, so when we talked about perimeter, I remember how I said that for the diagonal lines, it's worth 1.5. So when we're talking about area, since only half of the box is shaded like this, it is just going to be 1/2, okay? So you're just going to be using straight up 1/2. Okay, let's scroll down to example 2, finding an area. So we want to find the area of the portion of the basketball court that is shown. So the figure is made up of a rectangle and a semicircle. Now let me help you see that. So the rectangle is right here. I know it looks like a full circle, but you have this full rectangle. And then you have this semicircle, which is from here to here. Okay? So I know it looks like a full circle, but truly half of that circle's in the rectangle. So let's do it. Well, the area of a rectangle is just length times width. My length of the rectangle is 19, it says, and my width is 12. So to get the area of the rectangle, I'm going to do in my calculator 19 times 12. That's going to give me 228, use my units, feet squared. Now let's talk about the area of a semicircle. Now, remember, the area of a circle in general is, apple pies are 2. Apple pies are 2. A equals pi r squared. So I need the radius. So nothing is even labeled on the square. So what I'm going to use is I'm going to use my knowledge about the rectangle. I know that if this side right here, that width is 12, this width is also 12. which that tells me that from here to here is one side, from one side of the circle to the other side of the circle, which that tells me that that is the diameter. So the diameter equals 12. So remember, if I want the radius, I need to cut the diameter in half. So I'm going to do 12 divided by 2, which will give me 6 for my radius. So now, but wait, we're not done yet. What else do we need to do to this equation? Notice we're finding the area of a semicircle, not a full circle. So I need to divide this by 2. So now let's fill it in using 3.14 for pi. 3.14 times the radius is 6 squared over 2. So remember, first you want to do 6 squared. 6 squared is going to give you 36, okay? Multiply that with 3.14. That gives me 113.04. And then I divide it by 2, and that gives me 56.52 feet squared. All right, so that is the area of the semicircle. So now we're not done yet because we have the area of the rectangle and we now have the area of the semicircle. But it wants me to find the area of that whole shape. So what I need to do is I need to add all of those together. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do area equals 228 plus 56.52. And I'm going to add those together, and that's going to give me 284.52 feet squared because I always label my units. So that is the full area of the basketball court. And I get that by breaking it into shapes, then adding those areas together. Okay, that is 8.4. So that is it for chapter 8. Make sure you have all these notes down, and we will be doing the assignment soon. Thanks for watching.